Welcome to Not Just a Transaction, the podcast series hosted by experienced real estate authorities Nick Prefontaine and Zachary Beach. Each week, the hosts bring you expert guests to help you navigate the many creative options available for buying or selling a home, while cutting out the costly hurdles of a conventional real estate deal. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Not Just a Transaction. Today only, our co-host, Zachary Beach, is joining me. He's gracing me with his presence. And today we wanted to be diving into a topic that's near and dear to our hearts. And that's why, as a seller, why don't I just sell rent to own on my own? Why do I need you guys? So Zach, with that, because you're the buyer specialist and I'm the seller specialist wearing my seller top hat, take it away.
You completely threw me off there because I work with the sellers. I'm the seller specialist, Nick. You're the buyer.
Did I say the opposite? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's okay. The audience, the listeners, they completely forgive you. You just confuse the shit out of them. But either way, I'm going to hit you today with why you shouldn't sell this on your own via rent to own, because I'm sure that many of you have heard some nightmare stories where, because I've had these conversations with sellers where I've called them and they say, yeah, you know what? My brother-in-law did rent to own and it didn't work. Or I know this guy that did rent to own and it didn't work. And I'll tell you why it didn't work. It's because they are not specialists in that space. They don't have all the ins and outs lined up in order to have a successful transaction. So why you shouldn't do it on your own, for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, we do this specifically because we have our systems and processes set up in order to be successful. Systems and process. Let's see how many times I can say that today. It's one of my favorite things to say. It's important. But also a combination of the partners here at the company and also family has over 45 years of experience in real estate. So I think we know a couple things when it comes to making things happen in real estate. And that's not to say that you as a seller couldn't make this work. It just, the cards are stacked against you when you try to do it on your own. So when we work with sellers, we typically are buying from sellers. They want a couple different things. One, they want closure. So a seller that is interested in closure and utilizing us as their purchaser or as their buyer wouldn't want to do a rent to own on their own because there are a lot of moving parts, and those moving parts do not equal closure. Also, the sellers that we typically buy from want 100% hands off. They're relocating, or they have a second property, or they've inherited this property, or there's a number of different reasons why they have this property and they want to now sell, but they want it 100% hands off. And that brings me to the third, which is those sellers then trust our systems and processes. I said again, I think that's 3 times already, and it's only been.
I was going to give you more credit. I think we're up to 4 or 5.
Oh, all right, good. They trust the process. They trust the company. So there'd be no reason to do this rent to own. But that's just looking at it through the perspective of who we typically would buy from. But I wanted to throw it over to Nick and just let Nick explain what we go through with these buyers and how we set them up for success. Because if you're doing these onesie, twosie type deals as a single seller, it's very unlikely that you're putting all these things in place, which again puts those cards stacked against you and does not put you in the best position for success, and definitely doesn't put the buyer in the best position for success. So Nick, let me throw it over to you, and you work it and you tell everybody what the heck we do on that side.
Sure. Thanks, Zach. So the system and process that we're taking our buyers to is a very particular one, meaning we're not just putting it up rent to own and throwing any renter in there without a down payment and without bringing them through a pretty comprehensive screening report. And there's actually multiple layers of that. So it's not just one. In the past, it's been just one, and then we do that and then meet with them, see if they pass the sniff test, and meet with them and go over things in more detail. However, now we added another layer, which is a more comprehensive, almost like a police report on that particular person. So the process that we're bringing these buyers through is going to ensure that this isn't something that you have to worry about. Our buyers either trashing the property or defaulting and then you getting the property back, because we're going to handle it 100%. So the life event does happen. And that happens about, I don't know, I would say 5 to 8% of the time, where someone has a death in the family, a divorce, a job loss. COVID was a big one. Obviously, there's nothing that Zach and I can do, or the whole team at Original Real Estate. There's nothing that we can do to affect those outcomes and affect what happened. However, today, within the last week, actually, less than a week, we had a rent-to-own buyer close one of the properties out. And that came from a referral from a realtor. And we were able to get the buyers in there with the down payment, work their plan up over the course that they were in there, and then eventually get them their own loan. It's why you want to partner with a team like us, or, I mean, I'm biased, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong, or us, because I think we have this pretty dialed in, and we are one of, if not the best that's doing this in this space right now. Is we bring the buyer through a very particular process. And along the way, if we have to nudge them and kind of be tough with them, you can be rest assured that we're going to do that. This deal that just closed a week ago or less than a week ago, I remember the rent-to-own buyer was in tears with me a couple months ago. And was very upset, in tears, starting to blame us. And then she called back the next day and apologized and asked what her next steps are. But we're kind of tough with people if we have to be, so that they are able to get their own loans. So you can know as a seller, be rest assured that this is a pretty committed and serious process that we're putting all of our rent-to-own buyers through. And Nick, Zach, right back on over you.
Nick, thanks for bringing that up, because as you were speaking, it just made me think of, this is a partnership, right? We have equitable interest in this property. I mean, we want to get this thing to the finish line from a seller partnership standpoint. We want to get you as a seller to the finish line where you get cashed out, because we're also going to get paid that way as well. From a buyer standpoint, we want to help you get to the finish line so you get to become the homeowner, but then we also have equity in the property as well. So it really lines up 3 different people in order to get the end result that will help everybody continue to move forward in life. So rest assured, that's another one we use a lot of today. You know, we joke a lot bit on the show, but we know this is a serious matter. And we're very serious about getting everyone to the finish line here. So although we may be joking, that is for entertainment purposes, because rent to own, creative financing can be a bit dry sometimes. But in the end,
you like to spice it up.
Yes. But in the end, at the end of the day, we want to get you, the seller, to where you want to be. We want to get the buyer to where they want to be. And then our company continues to move forward, build its reputation, and build profits for doing so. So that is why you don't want to do this on your own, not when you can partner with somebody like us. So I know it was a lovely Wednesday, Nick, and I know we've had a ton of fun here, and we still have not been kicked off of Spotify or iTunes, and they still continue to give us a microphone for this podcast. So we will be back.
Surprising, Zach. They haven't kicked us off yet.
So we'll be back next Wednesday. So make sure if you have a property for sale or you want to be a part of this rent-to-own program and be able to buy your own property, make sure you head to our website, originalre.com. Or email us directly at contactus@originalre.com and let us know what your interests are, and we'll respond to you right away. Everybody have a fantastic Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Not Just a Transaction. If you want to learn more on selling a home, buying a home, or resources to learn more, head on over to our website at originalre.com.